The year is 1799. The world is a place of great turmoil and discovery. Napoleon Bonaparte, a man of immense ambition, has led his French army into Egypt. His goals are not just military. He aims to disrupt British trade routes to India. But he has also brought with him a legion of scholars, scientists and artists. They are part of the Commission des Sciences et des Arts. Their mission is to document, to study, and to claim the wonders of this ancient land. They are here to unlock the secrets that have been buried under the sand for millennia. What they would find would change our understanding of human history forever. One sweltering day in mid-July, near the port town of Rashid, which the French called Rosetta, soldiers were hard at work. They were reinforcing the crumbling walls of an old Mamluk fort, later named Fort Julien. Under the command of an engineering officer, Pierre-François Bouchard, they were tearing down ancient walls to reuse the stone. Suddenly, a soldier's tool struck something hard and flat. It was not just another rough block. This was a dark slab, polished on one side, and covered in strange, elegant carvings. 3 distinct bands of text were inscribed upon its face. The top section was written in a script of beautiful pictorial symbols. These were the mysterious hieroglyphs of the ancient pharaohs. The middle script was more cursive, a flowing text known as demotic, and the bottom section, blessedly, was in a language the scholars knew well, ancient Greek. Bouchard, the astute officer, knew at once what he had found. He understood the potential significance of a trilingual inscription. If the 3 texts said the same thing, then the known Greek could be used to decipher the unknown Egyptian scripts. The Rosetta Stone itself is a truly magnificent object. It is not whole, it is a piece of a larger monument that once stood proudly in a temple. Imagine a slab of dark, greyish-pink stone weighing as much as a small car. Its surface is a tapestry of human expression, a testament to the power of the written word. When you look closely, you can see the skill of the ancient stonemasons. Every character, whether a picture of a bird, a ripple of water, or a simple line, is carved with incredible precision. The top portion of the stone features the sacred script of the pharaohs, the hieroglyphs. This was the language of the gods, used for monumental inscriptions on temples and tombs. Below the hieroglyphs is the demotic script. This was the everyday script of the Egyptian people in later periods. It was a more practical, cursive form of writing, used for legal documents and letters. Then, at the very bottom, is the script that made everything possible, ancient Greek. By 196 BC, when the stone was carved, Egypt was ruled by a Greek dynasty, the Ptolemies. The Greek language was the language of the government and the ruling class. Because scholars of the 18th century could read ancient Greek fluently, they had a starting point. The Greek text revealed that the inscription was a decree passed by a council of priests. It was issued in Memphis, Egypt, to honor King Ptolemy V Epiphanes. The uniqueness of the Rosetta Stone lies in this parallel presentation. It is a single message, repeated in 3 different scripts. It was, in essence, an ancient public service announcement. The discovery of the stone was just the beginning. The journey to decipherment was long and fraught with intellectual challenges. It was a monumental puzzle that captivated the greatest minds in Europe. The first step was to translate the Greek text fully. This provided the plain text, the known message against which the other 2 scripts could be compared. The first real progress was made not with the hieroglyphs, but with the demotic script. A French scholar, Antoine Isaac Sylvestre de Sacy, and his Swedish student, Johann David Ackerblad, focused on this middle text. They painstakingly identified proper names like Ptolemy and Alexander by matching their positions with the Greek text. They managed to work out a small alphabet for some of the demotic characters. However, they were held back by a crucial, incorrect assumption. They believed that demotic was an entirely alphabetic script, where each symbol represented a letter. This was only partially true, and it prevented them from making further significant breakthroughs. Meanwhile, the hieroglyphs remained stubbornly silent. The prevailing belief for centuries was that they were purely ideographic. This means each symbol was thought to represent a whole idea or object, not a sound. For example, a picture of an owl meant owl, not the sound associated with the word for owl. This fundamental misunderstanding was a major roadblock. Scholars tried to match symbols to concepts from the Greek text, but it was like trying to solve a crossword puzzle where all the clues were wrong. The beautiful, intricate pictures seemed to guard their secrets jealously, resisting all attempts to make them speak. The breakthrough would require a completely new way of thinking. It needed someone who could see beyond the established theories, someone who could entertain the radical idea that the hieroglyphs might be a complex mix of different types of signs. The race to decipher the hieroglyphs became a fierce intellectual rivalry, primarily between two brilliant minds, Thomas Young of Britain and Jean-François Champollion of France. Young was a polymath, a physician and physicist who had made significant contributions to optics and mechanics. He approached the Rosetta Stone as a mathematical puzzle. He correctly deduced that the cartouches, the oval rings drawn around certain hieroglyphs, contained the names of royalty. He successfully identified the phonetic characters for Ptolemy and even made progress on the name Berenice, but he could not take the final step. Across the English Channel was his rival, Jean-François Champollion. He was a prodigious linguist who had dedicated his entire life to ancient Egypt. From a young age, he had learned numerous ancient languages, including Coptic. Champollion believed correctly that Coptic was the direct descendant of the ancient Egyptian language. This gave him a crucial advantage. He had an understanding of the sounds and vocabulary of the language he was trying to read. The pivotal moment came in 1822. Champollion was studying copies of inscriptions from other temples, not just the Rosetta Stone. He was looking at a cartouche containing a name that was not Greek. It began with a circle, representing the sun. Champollion knew the Coptic word for sun was Ra. This was followed by a symbol he had tentatively identified as M, and a final group of symbols he knew from Ptolemy's name, representing SS. He put it together, Ra-MSS, Rameses. He had just read the name of one of Egypt's greatest native pharaohs. In a flash of insight, he realized the system was not just for foreign names. Legend has it that upon making this discovery, Champollion burst into his brother's office, cried "Je tiens l'affaire," which means "I've got it," and promptly fainted from exhaustion and excitement. He had cracked the code. He had unlocked a language that had been silent for nearly 2 millennia. While Young had picked the lock, it was Champollion who had thrown the door wide open. His deep knowledge of Coptic and his unwavering dedication had allowed him to see the full picture. The great intellectual race was over, and the world was about to rediscover a lost civilization, all thanks to his genius. The decipherment of the hieroglyphs was more than just an academic victory. It was really the key that unlocked the entirety of ancient Egyptian civilization. Before Champollion's breakthrough, our knowledge of Egypt came almost exclusively from the Bible and from Greek and Roman historians. These were outside perspectives, often incomplete or biased. Egypt itself was silent. Its thousands of inscriptions on temple walls, tombs, papyri, and monuments were just mysterious decorations. We could look at the pyramids and marvel, but we could not understand the minds of the people who built them. The Rosetta Stone changed everything, allowing Egypt to finally speak for itself. With the ability to read hieroglyphs, a torrent of information was unleashed. Scholars could now translate royal decrees, historical records of battles, and the biographies of pharaohs. They could read the names of kings and queens, arranging them into dynasties and creating a reliable timeline of Egyptian history stretching back thousands of years. The grand narrative of this incredible civilization, with its periods of great power, its internal struggles, and its eventual decline, could be reconstructed from its own records. The walls of Karnak and the tombs in the Valley of the Kings were no longer just art. They were history books written in stone. The impact went far beyond the stories of kings and queens. The decipherment opened a window into the daily lives, beliefs, and culture of ordinary Egyptians. We could now read their letters, their legal contracts, their poetry, and their medical texts. We learned about their complex and fascinating religion, not just the names of their gods like Ra, Osiris, and Isis, but the very hymns they sang to them. We could understand their intricate beliefs about the afterlife, detailed in the Book of the Dead. The world of the ancient Egyptians became vibrant, complex, and deeply human. And so one stone, found by chance by soldiers in the Egyptian dirt, became one of the most important objects in the world. It stands today in the British Museum, a symbol of discovery and understanding. It reminds us that the past is never truly lost. It is often just waiting for a key. The Rosetta Stone provided that key, transforming our view of ancient Egypt from one of myth and mystery to one of tangible history. It allowed a great civilization to reclaim its voice, sharing its wisdom, its beauty, and its story with all of humanity, a story that continues to fascinate and inspire us to this day.